This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone, good morning. Uh, to continue our previous session, just a kind of recap, okay? So we discussed about namespace. There are three types of namespaces: target namespace, XMLNS. We read it as namespace. Third one is default namespace. So there are total three types of namespaces. We saw some examples. We used XML and XSD to implement uh, target namespace and XMLNS, and I showed you how to write the syntax and how we need to apply target namespace, how we need to apply XMLNS, and we discussed about qualifiers and we discussed about default namespace. Correct? So these are all the different concepts we discussed, but we took the example of XML and XSD. But this namespace concept, the overall namespace concept, is not just limited to XML and XSD. This concept is for entire XML family documents. Okay, that means I will give you example of XML documents: XML, XSD, WSDL, XSLT, XQuery, etc. There are few other documents as well. I will show you once we start our project work. Okay, once we start our examples, we'll see so many other documents as well. But any XML family document, if we consider, we can apply namespace concept in that XML family document. Okay, so how we apply target namespace and how we apply XMLNS in a document. If we have at least one user defined keyword, that document is eligible to have target namespace. At least one user defined keyword space. Okay. In a document, if we have at least one predefined keyword, that document should use respective XMLNS, that predefined keyword related XMLNS. Okay. Now, this is what we discussed. Only two basic lines, guys. Whenever we are talking about namespace concept, we just need to remember these two lines. Which document is eligible to have target namespace? Which document is eligible to have XMLNS? If you are able to answer these two lines, these two questions, you can use the namespace concept in any XML family document. Okay, fine. So today, see, in the previous session, we aggressively used namespace concept in XML examples, correct? Let me open the document once. So we discussed about a complex XML. In the previous session, we discussed about a complex XML which contains two different namespaces. Okay, and then how to improve the document size. We discussed different mechanisms. We can write the XMLNS into the parent element instead of writing into each and every element, correct? So that is one improvement we did. And we also introduced qualifiers. So qualifier is a logical connection between XMLNS and the respective element. XMLNS and the respective element, we discussed it, right? So by introducing qualifiers, we are able to improve, we are able to fine tune our XML document. And on top of qualifier, we also discussed about default namespace. So with the introduction of default namespace, we try to reduce usage of qualifier as well. One of the namespace, only one namespace within a scope, we can use only one namespace as a default namespace. That means there is no qualifier. We can use namespace, we can use XMLNS without qualifier is a default namespace. Okay, so this is what we discussed in the previous session, and we aggressively applied this namespace concept on an XML, on a complex XML. Okay, Now, today, I want to show you how to apply this namespace concept completely on an XSD document. Okay. Now, let me use this XML document. Suppose if you see this, let me cut this from here. Just for reference, I'm keeping in another document. Don't worry about it. So guys, XSD. Now we have XSD document handy. In an XSD document, we define complex elements, simple elements, and attributes. In this example, if you see this example, we have one complex element, that is order request, four simple elements, order ID, customer name, item 1 cost, item 2 cost. Total, we have 5 user defined keywords in this example. As we have user defined keywords in this example, we must maintain target namespace. This part we discussed in our earlier sessions. If you have at least one user defined keyword, we must maintain target namespace. But if you observe this document contains not only user defined keywords, it also contains predefined keywords. If you see here, schema is a predefined keyword. Element is a predefined keyword. Name attribute, this is an attribute guys, it's not element. Name attribute is a predefined keyword. Complex type is a predefined keyword. Sequence is a predefined keyword. Again, element, predefined keyword. Name attribute is a predefined keyword. Type attribute is a predefined keyword. Integer is a predefined keyword. Okay, so we have bunch of predefined keywords. We have an XSD which contains bunch of predefined keywords. So if you have predefined keyword, that means there must be an XMLNS which contains its definition. Okay, let me show you something. Let me open the page. Okay, if you see this example, this is an example between XML and XSD. XSD, we have user defined keywords. XSD, we have user defined keywords. Total 5 keywords we are defining, not just to in this diagram I placed only 2, but anyway in our example we saw, right, 1 complex and 4 simple elements. Now so whatever the user defined keywords we defined are used in our XML. In XML we used the same keywords to make the XML as valid XML. Okay. you got it right. So XML, we use the predefined keywords which are defined in XSD. In XML, whatever predefined keywords we have, these keywords defined in XSD. Similarly, there are few predefined keywords in XSD. Are defined somewhere else. So is the point clear? Please speak
Yes,
out.
Yes,
Okay. So the same concept will be applied. There is a place, okay. The keywords were applied, the keywords were defined and used in XSD document. The keywords were defined, somebody defined, who is that somebody, where it is, all will see now. Okay. Like in XML, to make the XML as valid XML, we have dependency on XSD. We will get the definition of keywords from XSD, right? To make the XML valid. Similarly, XSD also contain predefined keywords. That predefined keywords are defined somewhere else. What is that somewhere else? We'll see. Okay, that somewhere else is called as W3C schools. W3C schools. This guy This guy is the owner, or I can say the proprietor of XML family languages. Okay, so this guy defined what are all the predefined keywords must be used in XSD. Okay, so that definition, for that definition, so this guy defined it, right? So this guy needs a target namespace. You understand? This guy needs a target namespace is equal to, this guy needs a target namespace. Okay, so this is the target namespace defined by W3C schools. This is the target namespace defined by W3C schools. I mean, this logical space, the logical space what we have, this is the name of the logical namespace, but provided by W3C schools, not by any other developer. Okay, so now in your XSD, if you want to use the predefined keywords of W3C schools, you must use something called XMLNS is equal to the same target namespace you should use as namespace in your XSD. Okay, W3C schools defined bunch of predefined keywords, let's say schema. Okay, schema, and then I just took an example. Okay, schema element. Why it is not? Let me type this again. Schema element complex type sequence. Okay, these are all bunch of predefined keywords, right? Used in XSD. These are bunch of predefined keywords used in XSD, right? So the keywords were defined by W3C schools, used in our XSD. Used in our XSD. Any question? Used in our XSD. If you want to use predefined keyword, you must have XMLNS. If you want to use predefined keywords, you must have XMLNS. This is what we discussed between XSD and XML as well. The same relation. XSD maintains target namespace, XML maintains XMLNS. Now come to XSD. XSD also contains, XSD contains set of user-defined keywords, set of predefined keywords. User-defined keywords are related to target namespace. Predefined keywords are related to XMLNS. But which XMLNS? This XMLNS is defined by W3 schools with this given format. We just need to remember this, guys. We need to remember this namespace. We need to by heart this because this is defined by W3C schools. We have no option to modify this. Any questions till this point?
No, sir.
Is it Vikram?
No, sir. No, sir. Clear, sir.
Okay. So all three clear, right? So it's very simple concept. How we applied the concept between XML and XSD, same concept we need to apply between XSD and its definition. What is this document we call? We call this document as XSD's definition. Is XSD's definition. Correct. Definition by W3C school. Definition by W3C schools. Any question? Any question? No? Shall I apply this namespace in our example now? If you go to the example, in this example, bunch of user-defined keywords are dealing with target namespace. So this part is clear. Now we need to use the XMLNS. We can use XMLNS along with a qualifier. Your choice, you can say NS1 or ABC, XYZ, something, okay? You can use a qualifier along with your namespace. Qualifier is just an alias name of namespace. And this namespace, you need to remember http://www.w3.org/2001/xml schema. So this is the namespace. You need to remember this is provided by W3C schools. We have no option to modify this one. Target namespace is user defined, but namespace, I mean XMLNS, never user defined. XMLNS is predefined. Okay. So just for the convenience of space, I'm writing it in the next line. Okay. I'm just to adjust the space. Now, so I'm maintaining qualifier AB. The same qualifier I need to prefix for all the predefined keywords. That means AB colon schema. You should predefine the qualifier for open tag as well as close tag. Both you need to maintain the qualifier. So here, element is a predefined keyword. Name is a predefined keyword, but it is not element, it is attribute. Okay, I will tell you what to do with the attributes. Let me finish the elements first. Complex type is a predefined keyword open tag. Similarly, you need to keep the qualifier in close tags as well, not only open tag. Okay, done. Sequence is a predefined keyword. Element 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 is a predefined keyword. And here, for this element, line number 7, this element, we are maintaining open tag as well as close tag. So you have to keep the qualifier in the close tag as well. Okay. Now, if you see, we covered most of the predefined keywords. Still, we have few other. We'll discuss. Let's say name is an attribute. Name is an attribute. You can see it is coming 5 times. It is coming 5 times. It is also predefined keyword, but I'm not using qualifier. Observe. Name is a predefined attribute, but I'm not using qualifier. That means what will happen? Attribute and its respective element. Attribute and its respective element. If they have same qualifier, that means C, A, B colon. Suppose this is the case. Okay. Attribute, name is an attribute. Element is the name of the element. Element is the name of the element. If both are using same qualifier, we no need to write the qualifier on attribute. It is not required. Okay. Is the logic clear, sir? On attribute, we no need to write. Suppose if the element qualifier is AB and the attribute qualifier is XYZ, you must maintain the qualifier. You must maintain the qualifier. Is it clear, sir?
Okay, sir.
If both are same, we can avoid writing qualifier on attribute. On attribute. Same rule for type attribute. Type and element are using same namespace. Element, name, type are using same namespace. So no need to write the qualifier on name attribute, type attribute. Okay, done. So the next thing is data type. This is value of attribute. This is not attribute. This is not attribute, correct? This is value of attribute. Integer, string, integer, integer. This is value of attribute. Value of attribute, if it is a predefined keyword, we should maintain the qualifier. We should maintain the qualifier. Are we good? Everybody, we should maintain the qualifier. Okay. So what are all the predefined keywords related to this namespace, sir? The namespace which is provided by W3C schools. What are all the predefined keywords related to this namespace? Schema, target namespace, element, name at, go in an order, name attribute, and then complex type, and then sequence, again element, name attribute, type attribute, integer, string, So these are, of course, this is repeated, element is repeated multiple times. Okay, so these are all the predefined keywords defined by W3 schools, and we can access them, we can use them with the help of namespace, which is provided by W3C schools. For W3C schools, this line number 16 namespace will be considered as target namespace. For W3C schools, it is target namespace. For us kind of developers who are writing this XSD, who are creating an XSD, this will be considered as XMLNS. See the diagram, right? W3C schools consider this as target namespace. W3C schools consider this as target namespace because they are defining it. But for a developer, the same string is used as XMLNS in our XSD document. Any question? Any question till this point? So this is how, if you see this document, this is how we need to define one XSD. This is complete XSD, okay, with everything. This XSD has predefined keywords, this XSD have user-defined keywords, this XSD has a target namespace, this XSD has namespace. Any questions till this point?
No, sir.
Samaya, no. Okay. How about
No,
you,
sir.
Sampath? Vikram? Come on.
No, sir.
Sampath.
No, sir, clear.
Guys, you save my time, guys. Okay. No need to wait till I call your names. Okay. Save my time. Right. So this is how you need to write a complete XSD. Okay. Let's pick a WSDL example. Okay. WSDL. Let me pick one WSDL. Okay. Suppose let me pick this WSDL document. I will keep it. WSDL with namespace. So in this example, what I want to do, I want to show you the WSDL example along with namespaces. See, till now we did not used. Guys, I'm closing the documents, unwanted documents, okay? And let me open the XSDs as well in this document. Okay, if you see this example, we discussed this example few days back. We have a WSDL, and we are importing two XSDs in this WSDL, correct? Do you remember the example? We have a WSDL which importing two XSD documents, import 1, import 2, and then we created the WSDL. Okay, so in this WSDL document, we can see bunch of predefined keywords and bunch of user-defined keywords. I want to apply namespace and target namespace concept as we discussed in the previous examples. Okay, because we have predefined keywords as well as user-defined keywords that we need to see how to write a WSDL now. So to operate this WSDL, first we need to operate our XSDs. First we need to make required changes in our XSDs. Suppose if you take this example XSD, this document contains, this is a request schema doc. Guys, please stop me if you are not able to understand the example. Okay, maybe I'm repeating the same example one or twice, but just to make you understand. Okay, but if you don't understand, please stop me and let me know quickly. Okay, don't wait till the concept over, or I need to ask you whether you understand it or not. Don't wait till that point. Okay, so just let me know if you are not clear. Now, so in the request schema doc.xsd, we have bunch of predefined keywords and user-defined keywords. So to handle the user-defined keywords, first we need to define target namespace is equal to, target namespace is always a user-defined keyword, http://practice.com, okay, slash I will say demo1 /request. So can I use this string as target namespace? It is a user-defined string. Yes, I can use this string as target namespace. And then we need XMLNS. We need XMLNS qualifier ns1 is equal to you can use the namespace provided by W3C schools. You can use the namespace provided by W3C schools. This is for all predefined keywords of XSD. So you have to prefix this qualifier for all the predefined keywords in your XSD. Any questions? Any questions?
No, sir.
No. It is the same
sir.
example we discussed a few minutes back, right? It is the same example.
Sir.
Okay. All open tags and close tags, you need to give the qualifier, and integer data types also, you must maintain the qualifier. So any questions till this point? So we are ready with request XSD. We are ready with request XSD. Okay, we applied target namespace concept and namespace concept as per the technology. Now, let me do the same implementation in the response XSD. In the response XSD, we have a bunch of user-defined keywords, bunch of predefined keywords. So I must implement target namespace. I must implement target namespace, which is user-defined keyword, practice.com/demo1/ this is response. This is not request, this is response. I mean, of course, this is user-defined keywords, guys. So remember one thing, target namespace, we made it. It is a user-defined keyword, no doubt, but we are following some naming expression format, right? Naming expression format. So we should make sure to have a unique target namespace for different documents. So don't use same keyword as target namespace in two different documents. Don't use same target namespace in two different documents. Try to avoid using of same user defined keyword in target namespace. Is it clear? It's pretty simple, guys.
Sir, yeah.
See what
Understood.
is the name of this document? This is request schema doc.xsd. Name of the document. And what do you mean by target namespace? This is logical name of the document. So can we have same name for two different documents? This is request schema, this is response schema. Are we maintaining same name or different name?
Different name, sir.
Same name or different name? Two different names.
Different name, sir.
We never maintain same name for two different documents. Correct? We
Yes,
never
sir.
maintain same name for two different documents. Similarly, don't maintain same target namespace for two different documents. Okay. So now a little bit I changed. If you
Yes,
see
sir.
the last keyword I changed. Last keyword in the first XSD, I said this is http://practice.com demo1 request. In the second XSD, I said demo1 response. A small change, at least one character you need to change, at least one letter. Okay. Now, anyway, target namespace is good. Now I need to implement XMLNS for all the predefined keywords. Okay, but this time I'm using XMLNS without qualifier. If you use XMLNS without qualifier, we call it as default namespace. If you use XMLNS without qualifier, we call it as default namespace. If you don't maintain qualifier, you no need to prefix the keyword as well. You no need to do the prefix. You understand it or not? Okay, just see these two examples side by side. See, in the request XSD, I maintained the qualifiers. In response XSD, I did not maintain the qualifiers because we have only one namespace. When you have more than one namespace, in the document, you must maintain the qualifier. It is not optional at the time, it is mandatory. But if you don't have more than one namespace, if you don't have more than one XMLNS, it is optional to maintain the qualifier. Any doubts? Any questions? Both are correct.
Yes.
Both are correct. Okay. Request XSD, I used qualifier. Response XSD, I don't use qualifier because one XMLNS is allowed without qualifier. We call it as default namespace. Okay. Parser understand a keyword, a predefined keyword and an XMLNS without qualifier are logically linked. Okay, but only one default namespace is allowed. You cannot write more than one default namespace. Okay, right. So any questions till this point? So we are good with request schema. We are good with response schema. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? Right. We are good with request schema. We are good with response schema. Now come to the actual document, which is WSDL. Come to our actual example. So we want to see WSDL. Sir, in this WSDL document, we have bunch of predefined keywords and we have bunch of user-defined keywords as well. We discussed in the session, WSDL session, we discussed about it, right? What are all the predefined keywords? What are all the user-defined keywords here? Let's list out user-defined keywords in this document. User-defined keywords in this document. Okay. If you see from the top to bottom, user-defined keywords, order request message is a user-defined keyword. Body is a user-defined keyword. Order request is not user-defined keywords, guys. It is a predefined keyword. We got it from XSD. Order response message, user-defined keyword. If you open the WSDL document, syntax we discussed it, right? If you recall that, order response message is a user-defined keyword. XYZ is a user-defined keyword. Order response is not user-defined keyword. It is a predefined keyword and it is defined in XSD. Okay, and then order port type is a user-defined keyword. Order processing operation, this is a user-defined keyword. Order request message is not user-defined keyword. This is a predefined keyword defined in line number 13. Okay. Order response message is not user-defined keyword. It is defined in line number 16. Okay. If you see this document contains bunch of user-defined keywords. So we must maintain target namespace. Any questions? This document contains bunch of at least one user-defined keyword. So we have to maintain target namespace. We always maintain the target namespace in the root element of the document, and the target namespace is entirely user-defined keyword. practice.com/demo1/WSDL, okay, /order. I just used some user-defined keyword. There is no fixed format here. Okay, I just followed some expression format. That's it. It's entirely user-defined keyword. So all the user-defined keywords: order request, body, order response, XYZ, order port type, order processing operation. Entirely 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 user-defined keywords are defined in WSDL and loaded into target namespace. Target namespace is the logical name of the document. These user-defined keywords are related to this target namespace. Any question for user-defined keywords? Any question for user-defined keywords?
No, sir.
Same concept, right? Same concept we applied even in XSD. There is nothing new. You just need to have a target namespace if you have user-defined keywords. Now we need to talk about predefined keywords. Sir, WSDL document contains bunch of predefined keywords. Okay, but all keywords definition is not from same XMLNS. All predefined keyword definition is not from same XMLNS. Okay, let's see. Suppose let me start with the first namespace, which is XMLNS. I will use a qualifier called WS. Qualifier is user defined, right? I can use WS, NS, whatever. Okay. And guys, there are a bunch of keywords especially defined for WSDL by W3C schools. There are a bunch of predefined keywords defined by W3C schools, especially for WSDL. So suppose definitions is a predefined keyword in WSDL document. Definitions is a predefined keyword in WSDL document. types is a predefined keyword in WSDL document. Yes or no? Types is a keyword. Okay, it's predefined. I mean, syntax we discussed, right? It's predefined. Types predefined. Types close tag predefined. Message open tag predefined. Message close tag predefined. Again, one more message. Okay, part also predefined. Another part. Okay, port to type predefined, operation predefined, name predefined, output predefined, operation close tag, port to type close tag. Okay, you understand the predefined keywords for WSDL? What are all the WSDL predefined keywords, sir? Definition, definitions, types, message, part, port to type. You need to remember this one. XSD predefined keywords, WSDL predefined keywords, you need to remember. Okay. Operation, input, output. So these are the predefined keywords defined by W3C schools for WSDL. Predefined keywords defined by W3C schools for WSDL. Okay. Did we cover all predefined keywords? No, we did not cover all. Suppose if you see schema, is it related to this namespace? No. Schema is not related to this namespace, WSDL namespace. It's not related to WSDL namespace. Okay. Schema is related to XSD namespace. We know XSD namespace, right? XSD namespace. Let me use XSD namespace in this example. That means I'm using second namespace and I will name it as XS is equal to, see, this is XSD namespace. XSD namespace, of course, defined by W3C schools for XSD related keywords. This is XSD namespace defined by W3C schools for XSD related keywords. That means here schema is a XSD related keyword. Import is an XSD related keyword. So you need to remember that. You don't forget. You need this part you need to by heart. What keywords? What are the predefined keywords we have? And what are the predefined keywords related to XSD namespace? What are the predefined keywords related to WSDL namespace? Are we good, sir? So these two keywords in the WSDL document, these two keywords related to XSD namespace. XSD namespace. Okay. Now, did we cover all predefined keywords? No, we did not cover all predefined keywords. Still, there are few more predefined keywords. Let's take line number 16. Line number 16. Sir, everybody, please concentrate. Line number 16, we have a predefined keyword called order request. Where it is defined in XSD. It is defined in XSD and used in WSDL. So what we need to do, go to request XSD. In the request XSD, whatever target namespace we have, that you must use in your WSDL as XMLNS. Okay, because this keyword was order request keyword is a predefined keyword in WSDL, but it is defined in XSD. In XSD, it is user defined. In WSDL, it is predefined. So if you have a predefined keyword, you must have a connected XMLNS. You must have a related XMLNS. What is the qualifier we have here? NS1. As per this, NS1 qualifier, scope is within the document. Okay, so now you guys tell me, order response, is it predefined or user defined in line number 20 of WSDL document? Predefined or user defined?
Predefined, sir.
It is predefined. Where it is defined? Where it is defined? Where it is defined?
XSD, sir. Yeah,
XSD.
In XSD. We should give the answer. It is defined in XSD document. It is
Yes, sir.
defined in XSD document. So in the XSD document, whatever target namespace we have, we need to use the target namespace as namespace in your WSDL. We need to use the target namespace as namespace in your WSDL. What is the qualifier I'm maintaining? NS2. So the predefined keyword must be prefixed with NS2. NS2. Okay. So did we cover all predefined keywords? Did we left
Sir.
anything?
Yeah.
Did we left any predefined
Sir.
keyword? Predefined.
So order request message also predefined.
Order request. We left order request message and order response message. Okay. Suppose if I say order request message, we can see two entries. Order request message has two entries. Which keyword you are talking about? Line number 17 or line number 25? Which is user defined, which is predefined? So line number 17 is user defined. Line number
User
25
defined. Line
is
number
predefined.
25.
Predefined.
Predefined.
Line number 25 is predefined. Okay. So this
Yes, sir.
user defined keyword, line number 17, order request message, which is user defined keyword related to target namespace. Correct. But line number 25, which is predefined keyword, it is a predefined keyword, so it needs a namespace. It needs XMLNS. It don't need target namespace. Correct. So what we need to do, current document target namespace, we have to use as XMLNS in the same document with some qualifier, ABC qualifier. I used TNS as qualifier name. So what is the prefix here? TNS. Is it clear? Any questions? Any questions? Why I wrote this qualifier in line number 26? That is clear, right? So the same way there is another predefined keyword, order response message, which is defined in line number 21, and used in line number 27. Defined in line number 21 and used in line number 27. Okay. So that means line number 21, it is a user defined keyword, order response message, which is a user defined keyword related to the current document target namespace. The same target namespace I have to use as namespace. The same target namespace I have to use as namespace. Already we are using it. So I no need to write it again. I no need to type this again. Okay. Already we are using this target namespace as namespace within the document, target namespace as XMLNS within the document. Okay, and there is a qualifier as well. I can reuse the same one as TNS qualifier for order response message. This is order request message. This is order response message. So is it clear? So did we try to cover every predefined keyword in our WSDL document? So your WSDL document has dependency. Your WSDL document has a dependency on WSDL namespace, XSD namespace. Okay, and this is our request XSD namespace, response XSD namespace, again current document namespace. So is it clear? If you want to build a WSDL, you have dependency on these many namespaces, not just one namespace. You know, you understand the qualifiers concept, right? So we keep all the namespaces in the root element, and we can use the qualifier as a connectivity between every predefined keyword and respective XMLNS namespace. Is it clear, everyone? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay, right. Now, still there is something pending in this document called namespace. We left this blank on the day, right? So it's not blank. We need to fill something. That something is whatever XSD document you are importing. See here I'm importing request schema doc.xsd. Whatever XSD you are importing into WSDL, that XSD has the target namespace, correct? Whatever XSD you are importing into WSDL, that XSD has a target namespace. That target namespace you need to fill in this blank. The target namespace, you need to fill in this blank. Don't write it as target namespace, just fill the blank. Any question? We left it blank on the day when we are talking about WSDL syntax. We don't know the namespace concept itself. That's what I left this field as blank. But today we know what is namespace, what is target namespace, what is qualifier, everything. So what you need to fill in this blank? Just the namespace of the document which you are importing, Okay, that means this document's physical name, this document's logical name. That's what we are doing here. Physical name of the document we are providing at the time of import. Logical name of the document we are providing at the time of import. Is it clear? Same thing I need to do with the second XSD as well. I am importing second XSD. Second XSD also contains a target namespace. Go to second XSD, copy the target namespace of second XSD, come back to WSDL. So fill the blank, which is logical name of response XSD. This is logical name of response XSD. So now, if you create a WSDL, like this, this is a correct WSDL with all the syntax. We are not missing anything. We followed namespace, we followed target namespace, qualifiers, prefixes, everything. Right? So, any questions till this point? Any questions? So WSDL document, see how it is. Let me open. See, if you want to create one WSDL document, if it is a WSDL document, okay, it has dependency on multiple things. It has dependency on XSD definition, XSD's definition by W3C schools, okay, and it has dependency on, okay, and it has dependency on WSDL's definition, correct or not? WSDL definition, which is by definition by W3C schools, okay, and it has dependency on XSD, request XSD, and it has dependency on response XSD, and it has dependency on current document itself, current documents WSDL itself. Request XSD definition, sorry, request XSD, that's it. Request XSD, response XSD, current WSDL definition itself. Correct? So to prepare a WSDL document, you have dependency on all the documents, all these documents. Okay, each of this document has a target namespace. These 5 target namespaces you have to use as 5 XMLNs in your WSDL. Any question? Is it clear? 5 documents, definitions we are retrieving from 5 different documents. 5 different documents. XSD definition by W3C schools, WSDL definition by W3C schools, request XSD which is developed by developer, response XSD which is developed by developer. Current WSDL we are developing. Now itself we are developing, but still we are reusing the definition from the current WSDL. Any questions? Any questions in this concept?
No, sir.
No, it is pretty clear,
No,
right?
sir.
Everybody. So are you able to write your, if I ask you to write a XSD, if I ask you to write a WSDL, you can able to write it, right?
Yes, sir. We will.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. So, so this is what we need about namespace concept. Okay. Going forward, we see few more other documents. Few more are not just, we applied namespace concept in XML document, XSD document, and WSDL document. Okay. It's not over. Even the concept is extended to other XML family documents as well. We'll see that once we enter into the actual examples. Okay. So if you have no questions, I'm good. I mean, I'm good to stop the session for today. Okay. Let me stop the recording.